Hey, you're listening to the Burnt Out Entrepreneur podcast, where you'll learn why you're feeling so burnt out, some insights and hacks to get you along this entrepreneurial journey. I'm Kylie Yota, former oil and gas manager turned health coach, life coach, and business mentor for female entrepreneurs just like you, and help them heal and recover from burnout. Welcome back to another episode of the Burnt Out Entrepreneur. Today we have part 2 of a conversation with Ashlee Livingstone, who we've talked about boundaries and how it relates to how we plan and how we do things and execute things. But today we're going to be talking about the drama triangle and more inner working, the deeper workings of why we make decisions and why sometimes we can't set the boundaries that we need to set because we have these issues that have carried over from childhood and that are affecting us today. Without further ado, welcome back, Ashlee. She is just as a reminder, she is someone who likes to build connections between the people, their goals, and the broader community. She's worked in nonprofits and she's really good at seeing the dynamics between different people groups within the community, and even like how we engage with ourselves, because we can't always control what is happening around us, right? We can't control what other people do either to us, around us. We can't control that, but how we can, or what we can control, is how we show up to the equation, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So come back, Ashlee. Can't wait to dive in.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. This topic is one of my favorites, and I think it gives people a lot of aha and hopefully some self-reflection.
Yeah. So before we get too much into the deeper conversation, explain to us what the drama triangle is.
Everyone close your eyes and picture the triangle right now. And there are 3 tips to it. And what we find is that there's 3 different roles that people play. Sometimes you may fall into one category more than others, or depending on who you are engaging with, you may play different roles on this drama triangle. So we have the persecutor. Persecutor tends to be that person who you feel is always negative, is complaining, might be criticizing, they're yelling, aggressive. And they kind of come at it with why are you doing this? You need to do better. Why are you doing this? Okay, that's kind of the persecutor's vibe. And then we have the rescuer. This might resonate with some folks listening to this podcast. We have the rescuer. The rescuer tends to be that person who swoops in, likes to save the day. The rescuer doesn't rock the boat, wants to protect people, wants to make sure everyone is okay, but they are the ones to make sure everyone is okay. The rescuer really is that save the day kind of person. Okay, or maybe I'll even throw in the word people pleaser in there a little bit.
Yes.
And then we have the victim. The victim is often that person who the rescuer is saving. But the victim looks at situation, why is this happening to me? Or nothing works out. They're always so mad. Oh, I have to work more. Why is this happening? It's a bit of a woe is me type attitude. And as I'm saying this, I'm sure you can all, if you're being self-reflective, look and see where you may have played that part at times, but also you can likely picture people in your life who do these things. And again, first things first is recognizing that triangle, and we call it the drama triangle because really nothing gets solved when you are operating in this triangle. If you're coming at it as a persecutor, and then somebody's playing the role of the victim, and then you have Mama Bear swooping in and saving the day, nothing's happening, and it thrives and it continues on in the drama.
Totally. And right, have I done it? And I was like, I think, yep, I've played all of these three roles in different situations. And have I think what will probably come up the most for the audience is, oh, I know so and so. And it's easy for us to see it in others, but like we are being self-reflective in this moment. Where can we identify if we have participated in any of these roles in our own lives and in certain situations? Because I know in different environments, I grew up like a chameleon where I behave this way because my parents are divorced. I behave this way in my mom's house. I behave this way in my dad's house. I behave this way at school. For me, that's what led to burnout, is wearing all these different hats and putting on a different persona with a different hat. I'm wearing the school hat today, so I have to be a leader and show up as the smart girl today. And then when I would go home, I would have to take it off. And I felt like I had to play dumb because my older brother wasn't as smart as I was. So I felt like I had to dumb myself down when I was in the home. And having
that's like a little bit of rescuer right there.
Yeah.
Right? He's the victim in this. And the interesting piece about this drama triangle, it's recognizing who you are, who other people are, recognizing the players.
Yeah.
But also trying to understand some of because we don't want to live in the drama triangle. There's another solution, which we will get to. But as the persecutor, when you are in that role, really what you want to be is heard.
Yes.
You may be challenging that status quo, but your communication style and the way you're handling it tends to come off very reactive. So when you are close to burnout, or you are not doing something in your zone of genius, or you haven't taken care of yourself, you're projecting your frustration, your sadness, your anger, your whatever out. And that's really how you come off as the persecutor.
I did that when I look back at my burnout journey and I was at the brink of burnout. I was totally the persecutor. Yeah. And like, my needs are not getting met. Why are you doing that? Like, why are you making a mess? Like my cup was so empty. I was like, and I am an acts of service person. So anytime someone would make a mess and I would have to clean it up, I'm like, I don't have any energy left to deal with this issue. Yeah. And now I have to go clean. And then you're taking out of my love tank, right? Yeah. Because I'm now giving out acts of service and you are putting negative money.
It's taken. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're making me work harder. I'm already burnt out. I didn't know it at the time, but that's basically what it was. Like, already burnt. You're withdrawing from the account.
And to layer onto that, there's likely times too, right? When you're projecting, you're the persecutor, but then your mindset of look what you've done to me is the victim. The victim comes at it from this place of, why aren't you helping me? Nobody helps me. Look at what everyone's making me do. And it's this attitude of everything is being put on me. Everything, I have to do this because somebody else didn't. And now it's on me. This very, not a part of the solution. And they don't see themselves as having any role in the situation they're in.
Yeah.
And then the rescuer, I think the rescuer definitely thinks they're doing good. I think that deep down, the rescuer really does think that they're helping. However, what the rescuer is doing is kind of like we talked about before, like busy. I need to be busy. I need to be needed, because if I'm not needed, then who am I?
Yeah.
And when you spend your time rescuing the victim, and this is especially important for leaders, what you were telling the victim and everyone else is that they are not capable. You have to do it. And you think you're helping, but really what you're doing is you're saying, you're not capable. Only I am capable.
Yeah.
And when you think about it like that, all of a sudden swooping in and rescuing your child from the homework they didn't get done, or the science experiment they were supposed to hand in, or rescuing your child when they get cut from the team, or rescuing your employee who didn't do something up to standards. Like when you swoop in and you save the day, what you're actually saying is you're not capable of solving this for yourself.
Yeah. And I've done the rescuing thing, and my husband's like, do you want to just do it yourself? Because obviously you don't need me, because my husband is very black and white. He's not a mean person. This is my third marriage. Been married to like real narcissists who very mean people. And my husband is not a mean person, but he's very truthful. He's very honest. And he's like, you want to just do it because obviously you're going to do it anyway. Why am I here? You're going to just go and do it behind me.
It makes them feel, it's reiterating the fact to the victim of, see, I'm not capable. I'm not capable. And from the persecutor looking at this going, yeah, you're not capable. You're saving the day. What's anyone doing? Creates this drama dynamic. So we really want to do, because I think we can all truthfully say we've lived in the drama triangle at some point.
Yes.
Right? Maybe you pop in and but we've all spent time there. The solution to it is the empowerment dynamic. And what that looks like is the persecutor becomes the challenger. Instead of seeing the persecutor as this negative person whose tone is kind of projecting and angry, it's that persecutor person saying, okay, I don't necessarily believe in status quo. I don't necessarily believe that just because this is the way things have always been done, it's the way it should be done. We need challengers in our lives for innovation. We need them to push us to do better, but it's the way they deliver it that is the difference between a projector or a persecutor and a challenger. Asking curious questions. What if we did it like this? Or have we considered that? Challenging it without diminishing other people in the meantime.
Yeah, I love that. Asking curious questions versus pointed questions.
And you're not attacking people and their, character, right? It's the difference. I don't know if parenting, when they say, you're not a bad child, you made a bad choice. Subtle difference of, hey, we've done this and we've gotten this result repeatedly. What if we tweak here? Could we get this result? Maybe not, but it's challenging the status quo.
Yeah.
In a productive, collaborative way.
Yes.
The rescuer becomes the coach. So instead of swooping in and saving the day, you are now coaching. You are saying, hey, buddy, you handed me this presentation. Did you proofread it first? Or
instead of me going in and goodness, it is so proofread it yourself, and then we have the resentment, and we can't trust our coworker anymore. But really, maybe they just needed some coaching.
And you're not, and as the coach, you're helping people develop. You're helping them grow and learn, and you're actually truly empowering them to do this themselves. You were saying, I believe that you know how to do this. Here's some guidance. Or somebody comes into your office and wants to do the bitch, moan, whine, complaining thing. You can say, have you considered this? Or I wonder if you need to sit down and speak to that person face to face, instead of saying, you're right, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to talk to them. And you are setting them off and giving them their wings. And you're not taking on that ownership yourself. Think about the difference of the pressure on your chest to the pressure off your
Mm,
chest.
yeah, I felt that. And what I've done recently is when I feel that pressure on my chest, I've been a project manager, I've led big teams, small teams, and very recently I was feeling the constriction
Mm.
when someone was like, hey, asking me for help or support or for this accounting issue that we had. And I was like, well, have you checked the ledger? I redirected them to a reference point. They're like, oh, no, I didn't think about that. And so we're able to do that. And then they came back asking for something else about the accounting. And I was like, well, were you able to log in and access the account to get that information? Oh, I didn't normally used to do it because the person that was in charge before you used to do it themselves.
Yeah, it's like, here, let me teach you, because now you're going to get so more done when you're empowered to figure it out. And I have worked with a lot of kind of that middle management where you are reporting up, but you also have people reporting to you. And this is one of the biggest challenges is they want to rescue their team because then the productivity in theory goes up, makes managers, bosses happy. But
Right.
this middle management level is exhausted, and the people under them are not learning anything. They are not developing. You have this super stagnant group who's not learning anything, and a group that's completely burning out because they're doing everything. The solutions we came up with is to say, before you come to me, here's everything you need to check. Or when I look at something, or if you have a question, first tell me everything you've tried. And then you've still not been able to figure it out after troubleshooting yourself, then I'm here for you. Because fact of the matter is, if somebody hasn't learned how to do it yet, they do need you to teach them. But there's a difference between doing for and teaching.
100%. What I wanted to say about middle managers is I was a middle manager before I left corporate, and that's where I was the most burnt out. And I realized some of the patterns that I had been doing were rescuing and doing things because I thought that the people I was working with weren't as competent. So therefore, my gosh, I get so irritated with myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And really, no disrespect to middle managers, you have to build in that time, right? Go back to our first episode, time to train, time to share. God, we do not need to hoard knowledge to make ourselves feel important.
Yes.
Right? That's where rescuers thrive. Instead, coach so you can build and develop. Imagine being a middle manager and all the people reporting to you are getting promoted because they're so amazing. That's kudos to you.
Right.
It's reshaping that. And the last role is the victim. Victim now becomes, in the empowerment dynamic, becomes the creator. Think about this from how you create your own life, create the outcomes and the desires you want. Going from, why is this happening to me, to a, how can I? If something is happening to you, right, that is you believing that the external world is responsible for your life. Creating is you are in that driver's seat of your own life and you are responsible. Your boss still may say, listen, you're working late, or too bad, sad, but vacation is canceled. Okay. I hope that doesn't happen, but you could sit there and go, why is this always happening to me? This is the worst. Da, 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 da. Instead, kind of taking it from okay, how can I? What tools do I have for negotiation? How do I need to communicate? Maybe I do need to give up my vacation because a big project has hit. And how can I reschedule it? How can I make this work? As opposed to sitting in your anger, frustration, sadness, woe is me. When we are in a mindset of like creating and being in control of our own reactions, right? Of course, when somebody tells you something awful, your first initial reaction might be, "Ugh, that really sucks." We're all entitled to our first reaction. What you do with it after that is up to you.
I love that. We're not saying that you're not allowed to feel the feel. You're entitled to your first reaction. The decision that we make after that.
Yeah. How long do you sit there? It's the difference between pain and suffering, right? And it's like, feel it. Suffering is staying parked there.
Yeah.
Choose to feel it and then choose what comes next for you. And that's how the victim becomes the creator. And now these three roles are really working from a very strong, empowered, collaborative way. And you can still choose to play your role in the empowerment dynamic, even if you have others who are still participating in the drama. I think that's really important, that just because you and I have evolved to the empowerment dynamic, we still might have victims in our lives. That does not mean that we have to go back. Our goal is to actually encourage them to join us and see things differently.
Yeah, and I'm already thinking of certain situations of where I can be in the empowerment dynamic when others around me are still living in the drama triangle. And even right now, sitting here, just thinking about it, wow, what a shift. And imagine when the situation comes up and I actually apply it. And I know energetically, when we shift, other people around us will react to our energy as well. So either they will pick up on it and they'll shift with us, or they will pick up on it, be repelled by it, and then they'll go away anyway.
And we have a choice too. It's like our energy can affect others. We need to be aware of how other people's energy affects us. And we make that choice to find the energy that fuels us, empowers us, stimulates us in a positive way versus getting sucked down into the drama.
Yes, I love that. And so before we head out today, if people want to learn more about how to come out of the triangle, if they need help or support, can they find you online, and can they work with you to help them get through this?
Yeah, I think this is one of my most enjoyable things that I work with my clients on, because the shift has such a huge ripple effect in their lives. If you're interested in learning more, you can connect with me. Honestly, email tends to be the easiest, fastest way. So my email is Ashlee, ASHLEE, at ourforte, OURFORTE.ca. I'm Canadian. I always say that. But I work virtually, like, all around. So connect with me that way and just let me know kind of where you think your biggest block is. Because once we can release these blocks of believing that we need to rescue people, or believing that we're a victim, or believing that we have to yell in order for people to listen to us, we can make such big shifts. We become more productive. We have more time freedom. We really can empower our teams and those that we're leading to follow in our footsteps.
I love it. Gosh, I hope this conversation was as freeing for you listening as it was for me, hearing it and just seeing the different players in my world, seeing how I can relate to them differently and come from an empowered standpoint instead of living in that drama triangle and getting sucked down with them. Like, oh, how can I really stay in an empowered position no matter what's happening around me? And gosh, that drama piece, right? It just, it sucks the life out of you. And that's when I talk about energy vampires. A lot of what Ashlee talked about today are a lot of those energy vampire issues. So thank you, Ashlee, for being here today. And oh my gosh, this is such a good conversation. I can't wait to hear the feedback that we're going to get on this episode, because I know people struggle with this. And thank you for shining the light on it. And I can't wait to hear the feedback on this episode. Thank you again for being on the podcast. And I'll see you again.
Okay, bye. Thank you.